Okay. And this is what? This is still the laundry room.
Right.
Huh.
Shaving there.
So how is this? This is the wash tubs? Or what?
Yeah, they're other tubs that you can use for washing if you want.
Okay.
They didn't get as much use as
As the automatic washer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Probably so. Did you do any fishing?
No.
Is there fish out there? There must be because the polar bears are.
The polar bears.
Or what did they do?
When the ice would part.
Yeah.
And as it would begin to freeze over, there would be seals would poke their nose up through there, and the polar bears are looking for seals, and that's
right.
what they get.
Okay. So did you have any seal?
We saw some, but
seals?
Yeah. And we saw one bird. While we were up there, there was one bird that came and stayed and hung around for months.
Really?
Yeah.
He must have been fed, or he was eating the trash, or something.
Well, we did put food out for him, but he hung around there, and we didn't really expect to ever see a bird there. But it was a
like a seagull or something.
Well, no, it was more like it was a pretty bird. It was yellow, and I don't even know what kind it was, but it was
lost.
Yeah.
And this is.
But it was about the size of a sparrow.
Okay. Huh.
And then they would send us movies, and we generally have 2 or 3 movies a week. We'd all gather in there, show a movie.
Now I saw they have a book in which I couldn't find. Amazon. It was like it was limited copies or something was on the scientific data that was compiled while you're up there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something was this an Air Force project, or was this a...
Well, the Air Force did all the logistics for the place.
Uh-huh.
But it was actually an IGY project.
Okay. And that was like another government agency?
Yeah, right.
So it was a U.S. government project?
Right.
And were you guys looking for, like, Russians anytime? The Air Force probably was.
No. We didn't even consider that, really.
You didn't?
No.
I was reading one of the...
We read about some of the ones that they had, but none of theirs were near as far north as we were.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I was reading, there was concern that they were using them as spy bases.
It was just before we went up there. We had airplanes. We had a P-47 that was loaded with electronics, and they were flying around. They would fly over Russia, and they'd fly around the base, and they were trying to find out the extent of their radar.
Oh.
And this one time, we sent that plane around, and we noticed that that's when they came out with the new MiGs that could fly faster at speed sound.
Oh, really?
And we sent that plane there, and that's never going to make it. And it didn't. They shot it down.
Oh, they did? We didn't hear about that.
No,
did we?
No, we just said it was lost on our way to Japan.
Lost on our way to Japan. So we were concerned about them spying, but we were over there.
Oh, yeah.
Flying over their base.
We were doing more spying than they were.
Yeah, probably so. I don't know. Did you see that? Well, did you read this? There was a thing about in 1956, and they were talking about going up there with the scientific camps, and they had the British, the Americans, and the Russians. Where the British actually did have a pretty good sized camp then, didn't they? I think I
guess they did. We didn't have any contact with them though.
Well, this is a punch cartoon. It says the British camp. They were being bored by Francis Bacon, and the American camp they were happily playing baseball, and in a Russian camp resembled a gulag with barbed wire fences and penguins made to march and perform military orders.
That doesn't sound like anything we did.
No, but I'm sure there was some propaganda going on about, because that was the year that Sputnik went up.
Yeah.
It was 57.
Yeah.
And then we sent our first satellite up in 58, January of 58. So there was some rivalry with that.
Yeah, there was.
But you weren't doing any exchange of information at the time with the Russians or even the British.
That's right.
Huh.
It's just like we didn't have any contact with anybody except for people.
Right. And you had 25 scientists?
We had 20 of each. 20 scientists